Just in Marvel's Ultimate Universe, there are oodles of stories that range from the darker visceral level to epic cosmic events. However, what really distinguishes a great comic? Is it the passion it stirs, the change it creates, the appearances it makes? Here we come up with the 10 Marvel comics that define the Marvel Universe and are also considered the best in the history. Every one of these comics presented such legendary figures, told incredible stories, and laid the groundwork for film franchises. Let's dive in. 10. House of M. In House of M, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, tries to bring forth a new world order where mutants are the supreme race because it pleases her to bring forth destruction on a world that has caused her much trauma. Magneto is the master of this universe, while Wolverine and Spiderman lead a life which they don't even know is disguised. Wanda's fragile mental state and her iconic phrase, "No more mutants," lead to a devastating consequence. This excellent creature felt quite close to the mutants' extinction. A main plot of this story is loss, power, and the grief of Wanda. House of M was the first thing I thought when watching Wanda touring, which elements of its path was going to examine, including Wanda's grief and powers. This storyline has implications for the Marvel Universe, and screwing over mutants which, while it changed the Marvel setting around and has remained a motif in the Marvel's narratives, highlights the tragedy and inevitable all-at-once nature of great power. 9. Fantastic Four, Full Circle. Fantastic Four, Full Circle is a combination of graphic and gestural storytelling that tributes to Marvel's first family. Come to life by the authorship of Alex Ross, this graphic novel inspires the adventurers and explorers within the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, take his family, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, The Thing, to Negative Zone, where dangers are challenging their relationships and powers. Some of them are abstract, some are realistic, but all of them look like they've been taken from a comic book of Marvel's Silver Age, with a touch of contemporary style. Full Circle was never converted into a movie, but it will always hold a special place in the fans of the original Fantastic Four through the artwork, and pay more tribute to the group. This graphic novel commemorates the spirit of the Fantastic Four and strengthens Marvel's iconic perception of the Four as the founding family. 8. The Infinity War. Picking off from the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity War finds Adam Warlock at war with his evil twin, the Magus, along with an army of clones. Warlock's conflict between the hero and the evil part of himself is a bonus to the plot acquisition of greater philosophic meaning, since he is confused whether to become a powerful person. They have appeared in animated features, which display their courage and allegiance, as aliens and Earth's mightiest heroes again team up. The Avengers, Doctor Strange, and Wolverine here. Warlock himself is also depicted closely as author underlines the evil in every hero. While this storyline has not been adapted for a play, its messages of inner demons and epic struggles find people's hearts. However, its focus on personal identity and acceptance effectively provides a foundation for Marvel's space epics and resonates with certain aspects of the MCU's heroes' moral ambiguity. 7. Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk looks at the Hulk who is transported away from the planet and becomes a gladiator in the city of Sakaar. Hulk, who is robbed of every independence, starts from a state of slavery and finally empowers himself to fight against his oppressor, the Red King. Transformation of the protagonist from the outer monster to the inner ruler brings out courage, the virtue of being loyal, and raw leadership materiality. Characters such as Korg and Meek stick with Hulk, forming different types of relationships with the character which show there is much more to him than the anger. This is one of the few arcs that details Hulk Banner's transitions into a leader and a symbol of rebellion, as unbelievable epic of anger and revenge, while portraying Hulk's internal conflict between the monster within and the hero in the deserted planet. Planet Hulk is as deserving of reflections on betrayal, redemption, and identity. Elements of the storyline were adapted in Thor, Ragnarok, 2017, with a touch of gladiatorial fight within Hulk as well as in addition, becoming one of the most loved by the audiences, enlarging Marvel's cosmic title. 6. Marvels. Marvels gives a different look at writers' visual on the Marvel Universe, and the wonders and horrors through Phil Sheldon, a photojournalist. While telling the story of superheroes such as Spider-Man, X-Men, the Fantastic Four readers fulfill an admiration and a fear of beings that possess superpowers. The Human Torch as well for Captain America turn into the figures of hope, whereas the X-Men are valued and feared at the same time. From Phil's journey, we can appreciate how personal are the epic and super-heroic events going on in the Marvel Universe, and how the universe is beautiful and complicated no matter which side a civilian is on. The artwork of Alex Ross and the godlike narrative of Kurt Busiek have turned Marvels into one of the most loved stories that depicts how super beings shape the lives of ordinary people. The series is known for its stunning visuals and realistic storytelling that fans can enjoy the Marvel Universe with warmth and love. 5. Civil War. Civil War shows the ideological clash between superheroes as Tony Stark meet on the side of the Superhuman Registration Act while Steve Rogers against it. Iron Man. Tony Stark supports government control, where superheroes are registered and held responsible, while Captain America Steve Rogers stand up for freedom rights, as long as there is a heightened power controlling every one of them. Their conflict also impacts others and involves heroes like Spiderman, and makes them align with one side where Avengers are divided and engage in a tough battle of loyalty and ethics. This storyline tells us that people in leadership positions act and make decisions with a complexity that is not easily definable as good or bad or right or wrong. Addressing themes of liberty, responsibility and conflict, Civil War resonated with readers and inspired Captain America. Civil War, 2016, the movie that managed to portray the division of the Marvel Universe into two ideological camps. The themes of Civil War could be best summed up in ideologies of the hero, trust and responsibility, making Civil War an impactful storyline that remains imprinted on Marvel's narratives at its core. 4. Daredevil, Born Again, the haunted Daredevil in Born Again. Daredevil reaches the lowest point of his life when the Kingpin, after learning Daredevil's true ID, sets out on breaking him completely. Matt Murdock is left with nothing from him. He loses his job, his beloved ones, and his house. But from this, Matt is able to regain his aim in life and battles his way back to accept and regain his life and his honor. They are favourite characters as Karen Page, Matt's former lover, contributes to his demoral and destruction, while Kingpin shows the idea of never-ending corruptiveness with no mercy. This personal and psychological struggle raises Daredevil from a mere superhero of the streets to a multi-dimensional, ethically challenged personality. In terms of subject matter, Born Again focuses on the matters of survival and salvation, while exploring what the human soul is capable of. I mark Daredevil Season 3 on Netflix, where the storyline has rooted and intense in terms of characterization, grabbed the attention. Born Again remains one of Daredevil's most iconic storylines, which turned the hero into the embodiment of the true spirit of life. 3. X-Men, Days of Future Past. In Days of Future Past, the X-Men are confronted with their grim future in which mutants are on the verge of extinction as they are hunted by genetically engineered automatons called Sentinels. The title of the story revolves around Kitty Pryde, who finds herself in the past spoiling the X-Men with rather bleak future in store for them. Kitty of the X-Men can be seen as courageous and hardworking. Wolverine is loyal to his cause, and Professor X has huge philosophical problems in the story. The story is embedded in the X-Men's plight as a group of mutants who are ostracized from society that is reflected as prejudice and fear. Issues of discrimination and the repercussion of authority's unchecked use of power resonated with the audience and solidified X-Men as identifiable themes of social justice and compassion. Adapted into X-Men, Days of Future Past, 2014. The storyline was both critically acclaimed and commercially viable, and further succeeds in adding time travel to the potent mix of hope and endurance. This arc put the X-Men back in their place in pop culture, reminding viewers that good guys can be at risk and forced to grapple with choices based on social realities. 2. Spider-Man, The Night Gwen, Stacy Died. The Night Gwen Stacy Died is one of the most devastating and innovative stories in the history of comics, and remains as one of the defining moments in Spider-Man, as well as in superheroes. In this arc, The Fend, Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's first love, dies during a fight between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The story left readers disappointed, as Peter loses an attempt to save Gwen, well portraying the sacrifices one makes if they decide to become a superhero or a hero. Gwen's death can also be considered as the part of the price Peter pays for his chosen way of life, and the change which turns him into a different man. With his role as Gwen's killer, Green Goblin has earned his position as Spider-Man's greatest foe, which gives this arc a lot of depth. These main themes as heroism, failure, and the cost of love, this particular arc became base to all Spider-Man stories to show that heroes can fail and pay the ultimate price. Portrayed in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014, the feelings that Gwen's death raised were emotional and intense, although the whole film was widely criticised. However, the film didn't fully capture this tale, which stands out as one of the most remembered arcs of Spider-Man to date, and effectively symbolises the fact that heroes are not thrilled beings filled with glee and happiness all the time, but those who fight the darkness that lurks within them, and in doing so, are plagued with sorrow and guilt. 1. The Infinity Gauntlet. Often viewed as one of the company's crowning achievements, the Infinity Gauntlet stands unabashedly and proudly as the purest distillation of what cosmic epics are all and end all about. Space opera to valorously and resolutely annihilate half the cosmos, so Thanos, the Mad Titan, can get into the good graces of the cute and deadly Mistress Death. This storyline's grand scale and philosophical depth made it a pivotal moment in Marvel's lore, forever altering the stakes for superheroes. It's about the big villain Thanos gathering the 6 Infinity Stones that make him nearly omnipotent. In a mere instance, he wipes out half of all living beings and challenges Earth's finest superheroes, Adam Warlock, Doctor Strange, and the Avengers. All characters have pros and cons as they fight, displaying the fragility and tenacity typical of Marvel's superheroes faced to godlike force. In terms of themes, as a potential study of power and cost of godliness, effectively as an inverse of the Trials of the Mad Titan series, the Infinity Gauntlet makes those heroes feel powerless and gives them a taste of the necessities of sacrifice. Adapted into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, with Avengers, Battleship Pretension Film of the Year, Infinity War, 2018, and Avengers, Endgame, 2019. The storyline entailed global audience and revolutionized the superhero genre. These films turned into generators of billions in box office revenues, and Endgame raked in $2.79 billion, making it the highest-grossing movie at the time. As the story touched on different cultures, it defined high and raw impactful comic book superhero efforts, making Marvel's space opera epic a true triumph. Who said these are the greatest comics? Every one of these 10 Marvel comics not only helped build the foundation and create the Marvel Universe, it also left its mark on pop culture. Starting with the cosmic struggle in the Infinity Gauntlet to a simple, heartfelt mortal loss in the night Gwen Stacy died, it is a story that shaped the readers and the Marvel Universe. Thus, translations in film, television, and other media remain a testament to their timeliness. The themes of character development, cosmic battles, and dilemma stand testimony to the essence of Marvel stories, enshrouded into excellent, timeless, captivating tales.